welcome to this episode of Mental Health Monday with my girl Chyna. Would you like to introduce yourself, let the folks know what you do?
Oh, what I do. Peace and blessings, everybody. Chyna Tiara is, what did you just call me? Very multifaceted?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I am a woman of many things. Sound healing, artistry, songstress, poetry, writing. I am on the track of becoming a licensed therapist.
Okay.
You know, I'm in my bag.
You are in your bag.
Yeah. Did I leave anything out? You know, I do a lot of everything. You know, I create space, and you know, I'm black and woman, and I'm out here.
Okay. Tell me about the art of creating space.
The art of creating space starts with intention. It starts with what it is that you are trying to create for others. Some of the spaces that I've created have been for Black women solely. They have been safe spaces for us to be able to come together and unpack, release, to be able to love on each other, to be able to laugh together. You know, we are returning back to our most authentic selves, and we're doing that in the most healthy and holistic way that we can possibly.
Okay. How would you define authentic?
Authentic is showing up as your motherfucking self. You know, authentic is being true to what is you. You know, we live in a world where there's a lot of copycats. There's a lot of gimmicks. There's a lot of, you know, let's be like each other. But we're talking about the individuals. We're talking about, you know, representing yourself from your own core, you know, finding out what that is and being that unapologetically, you know, out loud. So that's what I mean when I say authentic.
Okay. What does it mean to heal? Or how would you define healing?
Well, you know, I'm sure everyone's heard this before, but healing is linear. Healing is releasing yourself of all of the things that try to steal your joy, the trauma, you know, the experiences that didn't feel so good. Healing is being, you know, it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. And not everyone's healing journey, like I said, is linear. It's not going to look the same. Not everything is going to work for everybody, but it's trying to figure it out so that you can live your best life. We don't want to live in our sickness anymore just because it was passed down or it's a generational curse. Like, we're breaking away from those things.
Okay. So, holistic. It's a word that you used and it's something that you practice. Go ahead and preach. Let's get in this bag real quick for a second.
Holistic, you know that. You know that. What was it? Holistic, yeah. So holistic is doing it from, I like to say, the elements of the earth. You know, earth, air, fire, water. Holistic is from ourselves, you know, what it is that we grow. That's how we heal, through our herbs, you know, from our diet. And I wouldn't even say diet, but like lifestyle, because that's what it becomes when we start being more intentional about the things that we're using for ourselves. Holistic is knowledge, you know, making sure that we are taking in the good things so that we can be a pillar for ourselves and we don't have to go to these Eurocentric ways of living or doctors or whatever. But yeah.
Okay, when you say Eurocentric ways of living, let's touch on that for a
bit.
I want to just hear these thoughts. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like European could be like the kind of bread I keep in my closet, or it could be the kind of doctor that you go to and the only one that you subscribe to.
Okay, well, I'll use this as an example. We know that there has been a lot of Black women who have been dying at childbirth, right? And so in that sense, I would say Eurocentric as Western, the medicine, like it's not for us. The same way that we know like the system is not for us. So when I say holistic, I'm talking about for us, you know, and when I talk about, you know, Black women in childbirth, I'm talking about doulas and midwife, you know, who knows our bodies, you know, and making sure that we are getting the treatment that we deserve, because our DNA, our whole chromosomal, all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as our counterparts.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got to go a different route, and we need to know that there are people who are being intentional about our well-being.
Okay. So, what attracted you to the practice of Tibetan sound bowls?
So I actually use Tibetan, and I have crystal sound bowls.
Tell me the difference.
Just really what they're made out of. So the crystal sound bowls, crystals, and the Tibetan sound bowls, I don't even know what they're made of, but it almost.
Is that the sound bowl that you have in the box that's in my room?
It is.
Okay, so that's an actual Tibetan.
That's an actual Tibetan sound bowl. Yes. Okay. Yes. So how did I get into sound healing? I went to Amsterdam, and across the pond, and there's still an English accent, but you know, I went to Amsterdam, and there was this man outside, and he had a big ass Tibetan bowl, and this joint had to be like at least maybe 15, 16 inches, and it was filled with water.
Yeah.
And like I immediately stopped because the sound literally, I felt like, attracted me. It was like a pull. And he took the bowl around my whole entire body, and I just stood there, and like literally I felt like I was levitating. And I never felt like that before. And I then came back home. I was like, I gotta give me one of those bowls. I ended up going to these girls who were holding sound healing.
Do you remember what year this was?
Maybe like 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. It was that winter.
Okay.
That winter, and I came back. There was a group of black girls who were holding sound healing sessions. I went to that, and it attracted me in a way, you know. Really, the stress that I felt leave my body, just being there, being present. Like I fell asleep. I fell asleep my first sound healing session. I literally fell asleep. That's how at peace I was. Like that's how still I could be. So I bought my own bowl. And originally I brought it and I was using it for my clients at work. And then I started creating a practice of my own. COVID happened, and I was like, you know, my community needs this right now. And
so you wanted to share the healing?
I wanted to share it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had any moments that are special to you through SoundBowl?
Plenty. I honestly want to say I was going live every day in the beginning of COVID, like for a few months straight. And I created a beautiful, I don't even say I created, they created because they came. Community, tribe, village, you know, black women, women of all sorts, you know, were coming, you know, we were creating conversation. There was dialogue about the things that we were experiencing, being in COVID, the things we experienced as women, you know, discussing our traumatic experiences, breaking through it, like, you know, affirming each other. It was mirror work. It was phenomenal, you know, and I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, do you really think that you're going to be in the position that you're in? And that was just one of those moments. Like, I thought I was offering space, you know, and it really just kind of formed itself and became something else. And, you know, so yeah, I would say that's probably one of the most special things that kind of has came from sound healing as community and tribe. And we don't get to see that a lot as black people in community. Like, I didn't see nobody doing sound healing and doing yoga and breath work. So like, now to be a part of that representation and bringing it to my community is like, it's indescribable.
How important is representation?
Super fucking important. And I'm saying that from a little girl who wanted to be white. Like, I saw white girls on my TV. There were little white girls that I went to school with that the black boys wanted. And I thought I was too dark because my family, you know, had lighter complexion. And, you know, I struggled for a very long time. And not that there wasn't representation, but the representation, like, y'all remember the Just For Me commercial? Like, and you remember that, right?
Yeah.
And I had that kinky hair. And I was like, my hair needs to be straight like the white girls though, because that's what they checking for. Like, at that young age, like, I had to have my mother literally buy me black Barbie dolls. Like, I want you to see that you are just as beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that. So being able to have that and just grow up and be able to see like powerful women in position, from teachers and doctors and lawyers and all of those things, was representation. And because we're so far removed that they try to remove those things or make it seem that it's unattainable for us. Yeah. You know, it's just like, no, it's actually within my reach, because she can do it and she can do it and she can do it, and she looks just like me. My hair just like me, natural body just like me. Yeah. You know?
And this builds your image.
It builds it, yeah.
Yeah. So after redefining who you are, your image, how did you find yourself? Or is that still a journey that you're going through?
So we're never finding ourselves. Okay. We are always remembering. Mm-hmm. We are just getting back to remembering who we are. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's always going to be forever. You know, that's going to be a forever journey. But right now, I definitely would say I've been in the thick of it. Okay.
Take your time. Take your time.
You know? Like,
take your time.
Lord,
take your time.
You're taking me back, Lord.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, it's been a journey for me. Okay. And I have died and came back to life again, and, you know, been reborn. Mm-hmm. And the versions of myself that are here, you know, or have left, you know, so I'm grateful to be where I am today, you know, but I know that there is a whole lot more to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with mom.
With my mommy?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Chrissy from the block. What's up, mom?
She seems like an anchor within your life.
You know, my mother and I have had a very complicated relationship as I have grown. Yeah. You know, regular mother-daughter shit and some real complex and deep shit, you know, and that's for another day. Mm-hmm. But where we are today, I'm going to talk about today. Today we are in a space of healing. Mm-hmm. I think this is the first time that my mother has truly been able to really see me and see that I've been healing, you know. Okay. She's seen me in the most lowest points of my life. Yeah. You know, and I think that she's proud. I'm proud of her. You know, when you're a kid, we think that our parents are supposed to have it all figured out. Yeah. You know?
Where are the answers?
And when they fuck up, it's like, nah, nigga, you don't get to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, because you're the parent. Like, I'm the kid. Yeah. And it's just like, as we get older, it's like, oh damn, you was the kid too. Because I'm 30 and I ain't 30 yet. Wait a minute, I'm 29.
She said denied.
Deny that. Deny that.
Delete all that shit.
Delete all that shit. I said 29, 21 on a good day. You hear me? But yeah, you know, you get angry at your parents, and you have this resentment and anger, you know, for mistakes, and you know, when you get older, you just realize, like, damn, yeah, they were kids too. Like, you know, like nobody has it all figured out. We're all still figuring it out. And then there's that inner child, you know. And I think where my mother and I are today, I'm seeing the 14-year-old girl, you know, that had to be an adult because my grandmother died, and it was just me and her. So, you know, I see that she has a lot of healing to do, and I see that she wants to do it. And to be in that space, you know, is the difference between, you know, effort and someone like still trying to hold on to you without maintaining any boundaries. So I see the effort, and you know, so I'm grateful. So yeah, mommy definitely has had a lot of impact on the woman that I am today.
Have you ever extended a hand to your mother to help her pick herself up?
I have.
What does that look and feel like?
Now that it's received, seeing it, like I held my mother while she was like crying, you know. I realized, like I didn't even realize, but like my mother struggles with vulnerability. I struggle with vulnerability when it comes to intimate relationships, you know. So to see that woman be vulnerable like that in front of me, like crying, like she was my child, and I was just holding her and like offering her love, offering her space to be, because I know that it can be heavy, you know, and it felt good. It felt weird, And not weird in a bad way, but like weird, like damn, like we here, you know. Yeah, it felt like a long time coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's Mental Health Monday.
It's Mental Health Monday.
And you are the wellness representative.
Okay.
Now, what are your feelings towards wellness? Not just what you do when you show up with the bowl, but wellness in terms of the concept itself.
Well, listen, let me know if I'm answering the question. You be like, that's not the answer.
I mean, I just want to hear your thoughts. It's just about the thoughts.
Okay.
Just about the thoughts.
Wellness. I think that I'm grateful that it has become so widespread, right?
Give me examples of widespread.
I mean, in the sense of like everything that's being offered, you know, like we were saying, yoga, sound healing, people taking care of their bodies, mental health, you know, people going to therapy, like all of those things are no longer appearing as a stigma as the way that it did before, because you know, everybody was eating Mickey D's and, you know, just living life. And it was, you know, for the Black community, we don't go to therapy because we ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For a lot of them, that's still the case.
And it is, you know. And I was one of those Black people. But I was a little girl. I was just like, I ain't going to therapy. They crazy. I ain't crazy now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a lot of things, but crazy ain't one of them. Yeah. And then I sat in the chair and I was like, okay, I can see how you say that.
That's real.
You know? Yeah. But in the sense of like what it's done for our community, like, you know, round of applause, you know, and I think that what it really started with was the food and the mind, you know, and I feel like once we started to really focus on that and really teach ourselves, like, and you know, and that's people creating small farms and learning how to garden and grow their own food and cook food in the house rather than going to the restaurants, you know, like we were talking about herbs, like all of those things. All of this is a part of your wellness, self-care, wellness, you know. So I think that when it's really focusing in being, not becoming so gimmicky and like the popcorn shit of it, like, you know, when we talk about self-care, people like talking about like getting your nails done and going to get your hair done, and yeah, that's cool, but like, are you just getting your hair and your nails done and you still ain't going to therapy yet, and like you still, you know, eating trash food? Like, that's not wellness. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just that's putting a band-aid on it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay. You answered the question.
Okay, I'll get it.
I like saw the pause. I was like, oh, she's waiting. She's waiting on me. She's like, hey, did I do the thing? Okay. How important would you say mental health is to our community?
I've been in the mental health field for about 7 years now. Hands
in. Like elbows deep. Elbows
okay.
deep. Yeah.
And it's imperative. You know what I'm saying? Like, from not even, because I feel like a lot of people, when they think about mental health, the only thing they're thinking about is therapy. They're thinking about going into a room. They think about sitting with somebody. But when I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about homeless people on the street.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? I've been working with people in the homeless community for years, people who have been living in poverty for years, and knowing what oppression and like the impacts of oppression does on the community and the mind, and then the cycle that your community is now in, and what you're so far removed from it. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to know that people really don't give a fuck, you know. It's a lot of our people that need help. Mental health. I've seen people lose their minds, you know, because they didn't have the language. because they didn't have the connection to the resources, because they kept getting turned away. I think that on some levels as a therapist, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm gonna say it.
I mean, it's honest hour. It's because you have the work and the experience.
Well, I was gonna say that therapy should be free. As a therapist, I won't get paid, but I believe that everybody should have access to it. And therapy is gonna look different for people. I think that I want therapy to change.
What do you mean when you say that?
There's a lot of morals, ethics, and codes and things when it comes to therapy and what you're able to do and what you're not, right? Which is why a lot of people do life coaching, because there's a lot more freedom in their parameters. But I mean, the dynamic of it, for somebody who never ever got a hug from their mother, right? Could be walking around and carrying a lot of fucking anger, and all they really wanted is just a hug.
Just one.
I can't hug you right from the right person. I can't hug you. I'm a therapist. My man Juice, he be handing out hugs for free at get home safe events.
Yeah. But you're not the therapist.
You're not a therapist.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying stuff like that, being able to really bring, I think people's reality into practice, and what it is that they need outside of just sitting across from someone, and receiving a little guidance and given some tools, because sometimes it goes deeper than that. And I was able to experience that by doing crisis stabilization and intensive in-home and mental health skill building and working with autistic clients in their homes. I've been really able to see the brunt of it, what the parents are going through at home, being able to be in the home with them, be able to help them get the tools and to create the systems in the home that they need to be able to create a safe environment for their children. And when you go behind that desk, it's a whole lot different because you're far removed from the client. It's just when you come in for that session and you go home, and I gotta let you go home too. And and it is being on the ground. You can get burnt out. Yeah. It's a lot. It's heavy. Organizations don't take care of their employees the way that they should. I feel like I just went somewhere else. You guys were going
No. I was going to say this actually opens up the door for us to talk about the work that you've done within the 7 years. Describe those jobs and the work that you did.
Okay. So like I said, I started with intensive in-home. And with intensive in-home, you're working with adolescents. Yeah. You are providing them with, life skills, helping them with coping tools for whatever it is that they're going through. I did a lot of art therapy with my kids, a lot of music therapy, introduced them to a lot of different things. If you're from Richmond, I had a kid that went to one of the city schools, and I took him to Carey Street for the first time. You would have thought
Carey Street. Carey
Street is where all the bars and the artsy stuff is going on, where the other side be at, and you would have thought I brought him to Disney World. You would have thought I brought him to Disney World, and he didn't even live not even 15 minutes away from where that place was at. Yeah. So I wanted to expose my kids to things that they wouldn't on a regular, taking them to museums and different dining experiences, intensive at home. I had a lot of different clients, and they all had their own story. Yeah. I did mental health skill building, which is working with adults, and a lot of the adults were, working through addiction.
Can you describe the curriculum?
In terms of,
you said a lot of them were working through addiction and homelessness, right? Yeah. So when it comes to the curriculum, did you have for Monday, we are going to touch this subject, or this is the environment that we're trying to create for these adults?
So what it looked like, I probably saw them maybe once or twice a week, depending, because you had to get like a specific number of hours with them. And it was taking them to their meetings, NAAA. It was taking them to doctor's appointments, because some of them haven't been to doctors in years. You know, it was connecting them to therapy. It was helping them look for housing. It was getting them in the shelter. You know, helping them get their rights back over their children. Every and anything that you could think of, pretty much that was what I was doing. You know, I did crisis stabilization, and with that program, we worked with. So it was a 15-day program. Was with my clients, 8 hours a day, hitting the pavement. I mean, going to social security offices. Like I was saying, we looking for apartments. Because when they come into the crisis program, they're homeless. So we're within that 15 days. My job is to make sure that my clients have somewhere to live. 15 days.
What happens if you don't find some place for them in 15 days?
We try to refer them to another program.
So it's the circle of life, but not in a positive way.
Not all the time. You know, that's the other side of it. You know, I've had some success stories. You know, and then I've had some stories where some people weren't always ready. You know, everybody, you know, just how it goes. You know, skin folk not all skin folk is kin folk. You know, and you know, when you're on the other side of choices and opportunities, you know, not everybody wants you all up in their business. They don't want you all up in their house. They think you're gonna try to, you know, call the people on them for their kids. You know, they don't want you in their house. Like, you know, the period. They don't want you in their house, and we had to spend time in their house. It was helping them create systems for their kids. You know. With their schoolwork and, you know, chores and helping their moms around the house, like all of that was, you know, community cycle. And then I worked with children who had autism.
Wait.
Yes.
Before the children with autism, let's roll back to this moment.
Right here.
Did you ever have moments of being helpless? Or feeling there has to be a better way?
All the time. To this day still.
Okay. How did you ever overcome that feeling?
I had to remind myself that I can't save everybody.
Okay.
My mother used to always say, like, you know, I wanted to be a social worker at first, and well, I mean, same difference. I kind of got here, but she was like, "You gonna want to bring every kid home. Like, you can't be a social worker because you got to know, like." You know, when you said, I believe the children are the future. So I'm trying to take all of the future kids home, trying to make sure they have one. You hear me? And so a lot of the systems is created the way that they are for a reason. And it's not always at our benefit. And so.
But it is at our sacrifice.
It's at our sacrifice. So, you know, I've been pushed down to the ground a few times. You know, I've had to keep going. Just keep going. I've had to take care of myself. I've had to walk away sometimes, you know, and that's how I've been able to still be here.
Okay. I had to touch on that because I remember you said I could feel the layers in your shoulders and how you hold yourself as you tell this story. And it's like, I don't want to drag you back in there, but it's like on Mental Health Monday, it is literally about your human experience, not just the job. So the job is what the community benefits from, but your human experience is I had to let this go because it was getting too heavy.
Absolutely.
So for anyone who would be looking to either get into that work or walk a similar path, what would your advice be to them going into this work? Because it is about people at the end of the day.
It is. I would say create your own. Create your own. Get a private practice if you can. Go into a business with people who are for the people and not for the numbers. Who truly care. Be gentle with yourself. Self-care, mental health. I'm a therapist that sees a therapist every week. Shout out to Dr. M. Yeah. And you will know when you're done.
Yeah.
And honor that. You did not fail. You did your very best in a system that puts band-aids on mental health. So, yeah, be gentle to yourself along the way. Leave it at work if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you take it home.
If you take it home. When I take it home, I'm gonna speak from my own personal experience because I don't even know if I can tell somebody else what else to do. In that sense, I feel it.
Yeah.
I had a resident pass away a few years ago from an overdose, and I took it home, and I felt it. I actually went on a Ferris wheel that day.
Yeah.
Had some wine, and I cried, and I slept.
Yeah.
There was no escaping that, and I think that's also something. Sometimes you just gotta feel some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run from it. You can't jump over the shit. You gotta just go through it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. That was real.
Yeah.
You needed a breath of air.
Yeah.
A fresh breath of air. You said I'm gonna drink this wine and I'm gonna get on this wheel and I'm gonna view this city. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that why you like to be by water so much?
I love being by water. Yes.
I be watching videos. I'm like, she really likes water.
You know, Pisces. The water is where I let go. I take a bath every day for at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's where I release. Like, I love going by the water. I love the breeze. I love the air. I need to sit there. It brings me clarity.
You love getting back to the moment.
Yes.
Okay.
And it brings me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in a lot of the videos that you've done that I've watched, because I enjoy all the videos that you've done, I noticed that there is a ceremony of openness for all the setups that you do. Would you like to speak on that?
What do you mean ceremony of openness?
I think you, from what I've seen, create a space that says, you know, it's free to enter. Just realize, though, when you come in here, that it's about you and it's not about me. That's what you've created. And it's a good thing because it's like, not every day do you find places that the focus is you and not what someone can get from you.
I think that I spent a lot of time feeling like I was going into spaces that I did not belong.
Okay.
That were supposed to be created for me, but
In the language it said it was created for you.
yes,
But
right.
then when you got there,
It was not for me.
Yeah.
It was a lot of ego.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I wanted to make sure that my space was a reflection for someone else, and what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like I do a good job at creating a space that is just raw and real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know that I know what I would want.
Yeah.
I know what I would want, and I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody might not say they, enjoy me or my space, and that's fine. But I do it with intention.
Yeah.
And the more that I've been able to get open and free within myself, I feel like that's just been able to just radiate everywhere else around me, and yeah.
Well, it's beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it's appreciated. Very appreciated. I like being able to like take a hiatus from TikTok and coming back to your page on the socials and being like, ooh, what did I miss? this looks nice. Let me give her some hearts.
I think we both do this. I'm like, damn, did I not heart these yet?
It's like playing catch up. Oh, I didn't know you were speaking on this.
Right.
Let's get
when
into
this shit
it.
Drop.
Yeah. Let's talk about social media.
Okay.
Is there pressure there for a creative? Are you a creative?
I am a creative.
Mm-hmm.
Creative. Pressure. Well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to think that it's only the only pressure that's created is the pressure that we put on ourselves.
Okay.
And that is within whatever it is that you take from social media, because it's a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of. For a minute, I had to step away from it because I felt like I was turning into a machine, and I was like, "That's not what creating is for me." Yeah. Like, creating for me was just from an idea to the paper to the whatever, and boom, it's a creation, something that the world has never seen before. Yeah. But it's mine. And social media became this, here's a hack, here's a tip. This is what you're supposed to do. This is how long your video is supposed to be. This is what you need to get all the likes. This is what you need to trend. This is what you need. Hashtag. Like, oh my God. And that's why I said it's pressure if you allow it to be. Like, I started unfollowing all kinds of shit. Yeah. Like, because for a while I started following mad accounts that, like, people who you pay them to help you get your social media account together. Like, all this different, I started following all of these different people because I'm like, I need these people to be able to get people, but then I wasn't creating nothing. Mm-hmm. The creating stopped.
Ooh, that's important. Let's touch on that. Touch on that. So you started gathering people, but then you realized, wait, what am I showing them once they get here? Let's speak on the importance of that and that realization.
Yeah. I'm just like, you are following all these accounts and you're trying to get people to come to your page and you want to follow them so you can figure out how to do your page, but you don't have nothing to put on your page now. Now you're stumped. Now you're blocked because your energy ain't right in your chakras, okay? Yeah. Because you're not creating from here. You're creating from not even here. You're creating from out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a dangerous
place to be as an artist. Yeah. Because it's not you. Mm-hmm. I said this the other day. I said, I remember this man asked me, he said, what is it that you want from your music? And I was like, he was like, do you want to be famous? And I felt like it was a trick question because I'm like, duh, nigga, everybody want to be famous. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. But then I was like, do I truly? Mm-hmm. As I got older and saw what the industry looked like and saw how far removed artists are from their own gifts, like what they can create, I'm like, my music is no longer for anything. Like, I feel like I almost felt like, y'all remember on Little Mermaid when Ursula took her voice? I felt like somebody took my voice. Yeah. And I was like, is it the weed? I was like, who is it? Like somebody took it. And I was kind of just like clouded in my mind because I was filled with everybody else's voices and how the music is supposed to sound and what people want to listen to these days and what's hot on the charts and all of this shit. And I was just like, I'm gonna create music for me. And if somebody fuck with it, they fuck with it. And if they don't, then they gonna push the skip button. And what I can do is I'm gonna travel the world and sing. You can. You just gotta be the one to do it. Yeah. You gotta invest in yourself. Yeah. And I think that was what I had to realize, that I had to invest in myself. I could not wait for Jay-Z to call me, even though, hey yo, Hov, call me on a rock. I couldn't wait. It was like a waiting game of hoping somebody sees something, and it was just like, if you're doing it from that space, then you're already losing. You're already losing. Yeah. If you're not doing it from a space of love and what is truly passionate to you and what is real for you, then nobody's going to attract to it because it's not real. And, there are some artists out there in the industry that is very gimmicky, but it works for the time that we're in. But it's just like, if that's not you, then,
Yeah.
Stay true to that.
Yeah. Like, who would want to volunteer to be a gimmick?
Who would want to volunteer to be a gimmick? Like, it's so much fucking power in being you. Like, and I really realized that, like, when I really started looking back on just some of the shit that I experienced, and I'm just like, yo, like, it was you the whole time. Like, you was dope as fuck, my nigga. Like, how you ain't know it was popping like that? You know? I didn't know. And, you know, you got people telling you how great you are and special and all this stuff, but if you don't believe that shit on your own, like, you're gonna live a long, miserable life.
Yeah.
You know, of early nights and late nights, early mornings. It's just not gonna be good. So believe in yourself. Know that you are the fucking shit, and whatever it is that you do. And there are a lot of motherfuckers out there doing shit, but they not you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's your power.
Yeah.
Like, that really is your power. Like, your individuality. If it got your drip on it, you know.
That was
saucy, you know.
You did that while she got the sauce. All right. Okay. So before we wrap up this Mental Health Monday episode, thank you for coming out. Of course,
thank you.
Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. What would you like to see in 2022? Because you plan on traveling soon.
Yes, I am traveling. I am going to Bali in May for my 200-hour yoga program. I want to see expansion within myself, around me, financially. I want to see an abundance, a surplus of creativity from the most authentic place that I could ever fucking produce, you know. And I plan on having 2022 be the start of some fire shit for y'all, for me, for y'all, for me, for y'all, for us. Yeah, I want to see 2022, and I want to see all of the. We've been sowing seeds. Yeah. You know, I know that that's not going to be all of them, but like, I'm ready to see a little some of them. You know, and I'm ready to be focused. You know, and yeah. So, transformation 2022. Traveling the world, we out here.
Is there anybody that you'd like to work with, or anyone that you want to learn from before you leave?
Anyone that I want to work with, or I leave? Is this like?
I feel like I'm asking you all the hard questions today.
Like, huh?
Like, you're gonna be driving home like, damn, that was a good question.
I can't think of nobody right now, y'all. And it's not because if you're watching this and you know me and you know I would want to work with you, it's not because I don't know you or I just want to say your name. But I can't think about it right now. But I want to work with anybody who want to, not anybody, but somebody, those that want to do some amazing things, you know. Whether I want a band. I want to work. That's what I want to work with. That's what I want. I want to. All right. Trumpet player, sax, drums, piano, guitar. We lit.
You want a full set?
I want a full set.
You want a full set?
A full set. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be working with Juice, you know, and all his beautiful things. I know that that's a, you know, already written in stone and everything. Yeah. I want to do some work. So call me. I'm willing to travel. I want to work. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Where can the folks find you?
Well, you know, Chyna Sierra on Instagram, _preserving peace. www.preservingpeace.org. My podcast, Knowledge Itself, found on Google.
Tell
Google
folks
Podcast,
about that. Tell folks about that.
Oh, the podcast. Yeah.
Tell them.
So yeah, you know, we're actually coming up on the last 2 episodes of the podcast.
So it's a short series.
You know, yeah. So I'm the first. This is the first season, and I did 8 episodes. Okay. And you know, knowledge itself is everything that it says. You know, who are you? You know, what makes you? What are your experiences? Who did you have to go through in your own body to get to where you are today? All of those things. Yeah, I'm so proud of my baby. I'm so proud of Knowledge Yourself. I was nervous to put it out because it was my voice, but I'm so glad that I did because it's been powerful. I want to see that expand.
What nudged you to overcome that fear?
My therapist.
Oh,
my therapist.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to my therapist. We really, like, she is the reason why I started putting stuff out again. You know, I was really in my mind of, like I said, that machine and wanting everything to be perfect and polished, you know, to the point, like I said, that I wasn't doing it because that's how much I was stifled, you know. And talking to my therapist about it, she worked with me through it and was just like, you know, put it out there. Like I said, like, you're putting something out in the world that the world has never seen before, and it's yours. And if you don't like it, you can take it down at some point. Yeah. Put it out there. Yeah. Like, and I still get, like, you know, sometimes I get nervous. I'm like, did I want to post that? It's out there. It's already out there. It's out there. I posted it. There's nothing else I can do, and I'm proud of it. If I get, because it's not about the likes no more. And that's I was focused on that. Like, I need to get this many likes and I need to get this many followers. And it was like, nah, you just need to create. So
you re-ascertained the expectations of yourself. Absolutely. And you said, hey, let's just focus on this.
Yeah, let's just focus. Let's just create. And, you know, how good did it feel when it was just creating and it wasn't just for you to get a brand promotion or, you know, all these different things, you know. How good does it feel to create from that space? So I feel like once I redefined that, and I've struggled with perfection for a very long time, redefining that and taking unrealistic expectations from myself, it was just like, okay, we're here with it now.
You know, I actually have a funny story now that you mentioned this. So you followed me for a minute on Instagram and all the socials. You remember how half of last year I was doing all those transitional videos with the clothing, and then one day I stopped. I pulled the avatar and I was like, it's over.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest fears as a creator that we come across is people really enjoying the thing that we do, but then we get to this, okay, I'm over it, and letting that go to try something else that you're not even sure if it's gonna work.
Exactly. And hope, like, and just how we were, like, that, and the other side of, like, you know, we talking about social media, taking a break from social media. Like, being like, damn, if I walk away from this, where my followers gonna go? Like, are they gonna like all my pictures still? Like, because I'm not being consistent for them? Like, really having it almost is like, fuck y'all, because because, like, it's about y'all, but, like, it's not about y'all. And it's about my expansion. Like, y'all came here because y'all want to see me. Well, this is me. You know what I'm saying? This is what my growth looks like. If I came to your page and was like, now don't post no more pictures in that pink shirt, my boy. I like you an orange. I like you an orange. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Citrus
now. Citrus now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the pink starburst. But, you know, who would I be? You know what I'm saying? That might be swaggy on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's swaggy on me. It might take you some time to grow with. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it just isn't. It's just not your flow no more, and that's okay. But this is where I'm going. Yeah. So just like you were saying, like, being able to break away from that as an artist and be able to honor yourself and not thinking about, because that's just like that's like, how would Beyonce be who Beyonce is if she stayed to one way? Like Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. I mean, sound, but quality. They've reinvented themselves over and over and over again. Y'all can't say that y'all seen Erykah Badu look the same, because Shorty is always different, you know? So like, I look at people like that and I'm just like, I might not be where y'all at, but, like, I still got the same power, you know? And I think that sometimes people, they get a little beside themselves and they feel very entitled to you. I felt people feel some type of way about me taking a break from social media. Like, or when I've walked away from doing, like, Sound Hill every day, I felt people, like, stop fucking with me. And I'm just like, that's cool. Like, I'm sorry, you may have needed this, but I need this. And I'm the one who's producing. So if I'm not okay, you can't even get what you want.
You know what's funny about those who get upset about you walking away from social media? My thought process, and I don't know if this is the same for you, if I walk away from social media and I take a break for 3 months and you're upset that I left, you have all this content I made for 2 years. Solid content that you can study, apply, figure out, are you there or not? Are you this thing? Damn, have I implemented this? You don't need me anymore because I did it for you. When I come back, I have to live life to bring some shit back to you guys. You feel what I'm saying? And if you don't let me live, I don't make anything new that actually helps us. So like, I and we need breaks, including the people that watch my stuff. Like I said I was like, I'm gonna create about 365 days worth of mental health content for next year. Do you know how wild that is?
Wow.
Do you know how much fatigue I am keeping in mind that people are probably gonna be like, damn, I'm seeing him a lot. I'm probably gonna have to give him a break. And when they come back, they're gonna be like, all right, let me see what I missed. So it's not necessary. This amount of human contact that we have isn't necessary.
You don't get to have access to me like that.
It's
and like that's
necessary.
a boundary, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a boundary.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Boundaries
are important. You know?
Like,
and I realize, like, even when it comes to like when you see people like going ham on like celebrities, like, where my next album at, Ree? Where that album at? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
rerunning the whole
business.
Study
like
her work.
Study her work. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back and listen to that first album for a minute.
Busy missing her,
you know
enjoy what she gave you. It's cool.
People have lives.
Yeah, your glass is too empty, Slim.
You know, your glass is a little too empty, my boy. You got to fill that up on your own.
But that's fascinating because like every time you do a SoundBowl therapy session, whether it's for yourself, whether there's a camera in the room or not, there's a certain amount of energy that you give that you can't get back.
Yes.
And it does touch into your emotion. So it's very unfair that people would have the mitigated gall to be upset with you for taking care of what you need to. Because it's not about the bowl. The bowl is just a tool. It's about you pouring into the bowl and people benefiting from that. So that's crazy to me. But that's the world that we live in.
It really is. And when it comes to like this healing work, you know, and being of service to people who are coming to receive the work, you know, you think about when you go to church, right? And you have the pastor to preach and he, you know, hunched over, they got the pastor's water, they put the, you know, on him. And people want to come, they just want to touch the hem of his garment. Pastor, can I talk to you for a minute? My son now, he ain't been doing too well. My wife, and Pastor, I need you to pray for me. Pastor, put the oil on my forehead.
I got something to say.
But they're like, the pastor needs a minute. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta respect that. But people might get an attitude about the pastor. Yeah, he too good for me. No, the pastor that gave y'all a whole sermon. Did you eat good?
Yeah.
Are you full? Did you go home and process the sermon?
Yeah, you still got some crumbs on your plate.
Still got some crumbs on your plate. And here you are asking for more from somebody.
Yeah, you didn't even
enjoy what was given to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I realized that, you know, and I think that just people really got to learn how to self-soothe sometimes. You know, and they got to learn how to allow people to have space. And especially when people who are offering space, like, you don't, like, remember you and I had that conversation, we were talking about, like, where does the boundaries come into place? Like, how far is too far? Like, you know, being nice and, you know, maintaining your boundaries. Like, I can be kind, but don't have me fucked up now, you know what I'm saying? I said what I said, you know, the first time. So,
I agree. When I took that hiatus for about 2 weeks, I saw my Instagram fluctuate. There were like 15 people who were like unfollowing me, and then 5 would come back. And I'd be like, are you guys sure you want this? Like, if you don't want it, it's fine. You could just like search my page instead of following it and just enjoy it from a distance. You don't gotta be here. That's why I leave the page open. It's not on private. It's for everybody. You know, it's really okay. Not everybody likes butter on their biscuit. Like, it's cool.
Biscuits from Popeye dry. You know, no honey, no nothing.
All right, as we wrap this up, what's one thing you would like people to take with them at the end of this interview?
At the end of this interview, I want you to take with you laugh. laugh through it. Laugh to feel good. No, but most importantly, love you. Invest in yourself. Surround yourself with people who love you, support you, empower you, uplift you. Yeah. I think that's it.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
Did you give them your socials? Did they know where they can find you? Did you do that already?
I did.
All right. Hey, well, this has been another episode of Mental Health Monday. Hey.
It's the